Hey guys, welcome to Dark Video Cuts. Had a request about music and sound effects, so today I'm going to talk about volume levels and adding music and sound effects into your timeline, as well as a couple of different music services that are available to you. Music licensing is a big concern. If you're not using the right music, you're liable for that. There are copyright laws that protect all these record companies. So let's make sure you're using the right music, or else it's gonna get you. YouTube and other media platforms will find out, their algorithms will find the music. So let's take a look. So we are inside the same video that we were working on in the last video. We have our timeline. We did the counter in the last one. So I completed the counter. It's looking good. Everything, the counters are flowing smooth. Everything's looking great. I'm pretty happy with it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see, and it's very touchy, but I'm going to see about adding sound effects, because it can be annoying to people watching your videos if you have a lot of dings and they're really super loud and distracting. So the key is to add something in there that's pleasant to the ear and get the right volume level to where people aren't hearing ding really loud, especially for headphone users, because this will drive them nuts, and with music volumes as well, background music. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull up my file for all my stuff. Heat 101 music is where I keep all my stuff. Make up your own folder, whatever works best for your flow. And this is all my licensed music. I'm going to pull up some sound effects that I also have licensing for, and I'm going to listen to a few of them, see what might be soothing. Okay, that will be annoying. That one might be okay. Take the edge off of that. It's kind of like gets you, but let's keep looking. That one is what we're going with. I've used this before and I didn't have any complaints. I think I got this one from Envato, but let's go ahead and import this. So what I did is I'll back this out, Alt-Z, and it removes the last action you did. But you're going to double click on the box down there, double click on the empty space, and it'll pull up your import. So we're going to go to bells up and we're going to click import. So there we go, we have our sound. And here's where also you want to make sure that you aren't dragging it over your other audio. So you can either pull it down or you can lock these with the little lock button, and then you won't be able to drag it onto that timeline. But either way you want to do it is good. So now the next thing you want to look at when you're adding sound effects is where the sound effects start. So I'm going to use the scroll bar on the bottom. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, and you'll see that there's this dead space here. That dead space will mean the sound is not starting exactly when my number pops up. So you see the number popped up and then the sound effect played. We don't want that, so we're going to go ahead and trim that. We're going to hit C on the keyboard or click over here on the razor, C, and then we're going to find the closest point, and you can really zoom in here, and this is far in, so this is a frame, so this is really close right here. So right there is right when that sound starts. And that is what we want to do. We want to trim that spot right there, that dead spot. So we're going to go ahead and clear that out. Then we're going to hit V and bring up our selection tool. And we're going to drag it over and it's going to snap right to it because of that magnet being checked. Snap in timeline. Very important. Very helpful. So now when I play it, it should go right when the number pops up. Perfect. So now what we want to do is we want to lower that volume because it is going to be loud. If you hear us,
2, 1,
and then you listen to that bling or ding, it's very loud. So I like to take mine down minus, I went over here into, excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself. I went over here to the effects control side, and this is again under the effects panel at the top, and it's going to show up. If you don't see it, you can click this little arrow and it'll show you all the little options here. So you want to make sure you're on effects control, and then click on that level where it says level, and we want to go, I take mine down to -15 decibels. And then we're going to click this. Now when you click this, it's going to it's going to reduce the audio, but it's not going to create a keyframe. So we can create a keyframe to where it starts at -15 and then goes to 10 or goes higher, so it'll go bling and get louder. But that's not what we want. We want the same tone all the way through, so we're going to click this. And you even saw the little keyframe pop up and disappear real quick. But now that should be a nice pleasant tone. Real low, nice and quiet. It's not going to piss anybody off because people will tell you in the comments. So once we have that all set up, we're going to copy this. And again, if you click on, I just clicked on the sound effect and this popped up. That's because inside of here, there's a little FX box. If you look here, so I'll zoom in, but what I did was I accidentally clicked on that, and that's when that motion pops up. So we want to click over here. So if I right click there, you'll see it shows up differently. But if I just go over to the side here and click, then your menu will pop up. So you want to copy, because now it's all set, the volume level, and I don't have to keep redoing it. And I have these locked to make things easier. So I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to go crazy, because I need a bunch of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, 20, 21, 24. There's 24 because there's 24 wings total and 24 counters. So now we're just going to take each one of these. Let me zoom in just a little bit here so we can kind of get an eye on what we're doing. And we're going to add these to the beginning of each new mark. So there's one there. And you want to make sure it's at the beginning because it'll also snap to the end of the sound. So you want to make sure that you're snapping your sound effect to the right part. So right there it would have snapped at the end of my sound effect, and then a little farther and it's at the beginning. And that's what we want. So I'm going to do this real quick. Get all these sound effects lined up for both of us. And again, this is kind of touchy. Sometimes it can get annoying. I know I get annoyed when I hear a lot of the same thing. So it's up to you whether you want to add a sound effect. But don't go crazy with sound effects because they really can get annoying. And make sure you're dropping your volumes down. So now we're at a spot, we're at a spot here where they're overlapping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down just a little bit and I'm going to shrink this up and I'm going to add it. So we have this one for this. Now we're just going to take this guy and we're going to add it underneath and to the side. So we'll get a double ding, but it won't cut off the other one. So it'll still sound clean and you'll get the full echo of the ding. Because you can hear how it echoes. So that's how I'll handle that situation, is just drop it down to the next frame. Bring that back up. So also when you're doing this, you can see there's a little numbers that pop up. You see where it says 305. That means I'm moving it 3.05 seconds back. So if you're dropping it down, sometimes you'll drop it down and it'll be a little off. So make sure it says 0 if you just want to go up and down your track. But that's where I want that. So that one is going to overlap, so we're going to drop him down. And we're just going to keep going here. Get these all laid out. Looks like that one's going to overlap too. Yep. So I'm going to bring him down. And this is where that snap tool really comes in handy. Because if we weren't snapping, and this is going to drive me crazy, so let me back you up because I'm OCD about how I have my timeline set up. So we're going to bring him to the back and then this one to the front. We're going to do the same with this guy because I like to have things in order because I'm OCD and weird about it. And same with this guy. We're going to bring him to that one and this to the front so that this way all of my sounds that happen first are on the top. Again, not necessary, but I'm crazy about it. So I'm crazy about things like that. So now we have everything lined up. We have a few overlapping. Everything looks good, so we can check them out. Let's go ahead and zoom in and take a look. Make sure our sounds are good. It's great. Nice and quiet and soft. And you can even take it down some more. It's not going to hurt anything at all. Me making yum noises. Good.
Right into the carpet.
Beautiful. So then it's going to do that all the way through the entire video, the entire time we're eating wings.
Me too.
Man.
Which it adds a little something, but again, it can be annoying.
Definitely
just like me. So that's how you're going to add sound effects. Make sure you cut the front off of the sound effect because they're not going to be, when you download them, they're not going to be perfect. So you're going to have to adjust them just a little bit. Now I'll go into music. I'll do a real quick thing on music here. I'll show you guys how to drop it in. It's the same, but then you get into all these different timelines. So you have all these sound effects that if you lay a music track down, it's going to cover those up and they will be non-existent. So I'm going to go ahead and lock these up. I'm going to make sure all my sounds are locked. And I won't do music until the end. That's the very last thing I do. And same with most sound effects. If they're not already in one of my templates, I won't add them until the end because for some reason I found that sound effects can be very rough on a system. So I right click here. Let me undo that. So I scroll to the bottom and I right click just in this empty area and I clicked add track. So now we've got an empty track at the bottom here that we can work with to add our music. And I've locked up all these tracks so that you don't overlay your music over your sound effects because, again, that'll make them disappear. So I'm going to click. I usually just click under here or in the empty spot and it will pull up my music. And let's go ahead and find my music here. So here's my music. This is my, what I'll do is I will click and highlight and import all of my music. Because these are the songs that I know that I use for challenges, for everyday videos. Then I'm going to use the scroll wheel and I'm going to find the song that I usually start with, which is Under the Marquee. And I got this from Epidemic. I believe it was Epidemic. But this is Under the Marquee. Nice, chill. You know, it's good. I like it. It works for the masses. You get a lot of metal and stuff. You could stray your audience away from your channel. Not everybody wants to hear hardcore going on in the background. You know, they'll be like, ugh, I can't handle it. So pick and choose your battles with that. So right now,
Hey guys, what's going on?
it's super loud.
And this is the lovely Mel. Welcome to...
It's set at 100%. You can barely hear us. And if you have headphones on, it's going to be totally distracting. So I pulled it in to the beginning of my video. Haven't brought my intros or anything like that in. This is just a straight cut right where I started my video. So I'm going to click here, and again, you're going to see in the effects panel, if you don't see it, click the little arrow, effects control pops up. So my volume on my mic is really good, but this is where you're going to have to figure out yourself. If you're recording on a cell phone or have a Rode mic on a cell phone, you might have to lower it a little bit more because my mic is loud. The mic that I use is louder than your regular, say, plug into your cell phone mic. If you were doing that, I would take it probably around 35, 38 decibels lower. I would take it to 35 or 38 down, which is a nice quiet and it just matches well with cell phone audio with a mic on your cell phone. My stuff's good. My mic is good. It's nice and loud. So I have found that 25 decibels is good for us. And then we're going to click that tick to add a remove keyframe. And it's going to make sure that there's no keyframe so that it's negative 25 throughout the entire video.
Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Dark. and
Very
this is
low,
Bella.
Hello.
not
Welcome to
distracting.
101.
Indeed.
It's great. It works well for me. And I've had enough complaints about music to know that this is the right volume for us. Again, different mics are going to require different levels. So let's talk briefly about music and licenses. So if you put AC/DC in your music, in your video, any money that video gains, say for some crazy chance you get 1 million subscribers or 1 million views on your video, all that money is gonna go to the artist, not to you, because you do not have a license to use that music. So I use two different services that I paid for a very long time. This is the newer one that I use. This is Envato Elements. This is not just music. This is stock videos. This is templates. There is just so much good stuff in here. This is just an amazing site. You can do like lower thirds, and you can bring these right into Premiere Pro. You can click down here on the side, go Premiere Pro, and it'll only pull up the stuff that works for Premiere Pro. But if you're using something else, there's Final Cut, DaVinci Resolve, After Effects. There's tons of different stuff you can use this for. Music, sound effects, graphics, lower thirds, 3D images, just tons of stuff on here. And once you pay, I pay I think $200 a year for Envato. Great service. It's expensive, but it's worth it if this is what you're doing. If this is what you do, you need it. And then there's another one that's called Epidemic that I use. Epidemic Sound. It's $15 a month. I paid for this over the last 3.5 years. You go in, it's got a nice setup in there. I think all my stuff is all set up already. So you come in and you can pick, there's featured, there's genres. You can go through, find the stuff that works for your style video, moods, and you can do genres with moods, and you can add like filters. So you can see all these different filters. It's really great stuff. I've been using it for a long time. Music is one of the hardest things that I have found to find. Does that make sense? Music is very difficult to match to your style and to what you like and to what the viewers like. So it took me a really long time to figure out what I liked and what worked for us. So good luck on this one, because it is tough. Some people just add in whatever, and there's other sites out there too that offer free music. You'll have to do some searching. Search copyright free music. So you can go in there, you can create an account, and it'll say when you go to download the music that you need to attribute. You have to do an attribute in the description. So you just put in the artist, it'll give you a little link. You can just copy and paste right into your video description, and you can use that music too. Nothing wrong with that. There's some really great music I actually use that is attributed music that's copyrighted, but they'll let you use it. There's also stuff on YouTube you can find. Go into the YouTube library. You'll see it. I don't want to go into my YouTube dashboard, but on the YouTube dashboard on the left side, there's a menu. You go down and it says audio library, I believe. You can click on that. Tons of free music. So if you don't want to spend money, go there. There's thousands of songs. There is a way to filter them. So I went the longest time and I didn't realize that, but you can filter the music. Click on it. Just start scrolling. Listen. Take your time. There's been times where I've turned on YouTube Music Library and just let it play, because they'll play over. I put it in the bathroom when I'm taking a shower and just like listen to see if there was stuff. The struggle is real with music, folks. So keep that in mind. I hope this helped you out. I wish I would have known half of this stuff when I started doing YouTube, but I really hope this did help you guys out. Again, it's a struggle, and I think I gave you guys some pretty good pointers and tips. Don't use copyrighted music. Big no-no. YouTube will put a target on your back, and you will get a copyright claim for just about everything once you start using stuff that's not yours. So keep that in mind, guys. Thank you again. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Dark Video Cuts, really appreciate all the support you guys are giving me. And leave a comment. Let us know if there's something that you'd like help with, and I'll make a video for you guys. That's what I'm doing now. Somebody asked me about it, so here you go, Dean. That one's for you, bro. Have a great day.